I mean, in the future, it's probably a good idea I pulled some of my pieces back, but at this moment, I'm a mom at heart, so gotta look after my youngins.
Now, Jane, you talked about different woods that you use for your work. Have you ever worked with basswood? If you did, what do you think of that?
I haven't worked with basswood. I have talked to a lot of carvers that work with basswood, and some are big fans and some are not big fans. It's a very soft wood, so it's nice to be able to carve. But yeah, no, I haven't actually worked with basswood before. So
what about tamarack?
No, because basically the wood that I've worked with is local trees around my neighborhood that have fallen down. So maple is a very common one that's in the neighborhood, so that's why we've worked with a lot of maple. Or fruit trees, like I've worked with apple trees. I have some pieces that were at my kids' bus stop. The neighbor that we stand in front of, they had some branches that were cut down. And I couldn't stand it to go to waste, so I went and sliced them up and then made them into many different things, actually. Mostly ornaments for trees, like Christmas trees. And that's actually, the leftover ones were what the kindergartners got to use to make the ornaments for their parents. It's pretty cool to be able to have an opportunity to be able to do that and make the kids very proud of being able to do something like that for their parents. There was actually a little girl that was obsessed with my wood burning. Like, she just kept asking me questions after question after question, and it turned out it was her birthday this weekend. And my daughter was invited to her birthday party, and she's a Michael Jackson fan. And so I wanted to do something special for her when it came to Michael Jackson, so I made her a little sparkly glove, and I found some Michael Jackson-esque sunglasses for her to wear. And then I went and made her Michael Jackson Woodburn necklace. And I actually, to be completely truthful about it, the girl that I thought was obsessed with the wood burning in her class, I didn't know it was actually her. I thought it was another girl. I messed up their names, and when I walked into the birthday party and I saw who she was, I said to my daughter, I'm like, is that the girl that really loved Mummy's Burning? She's like, yeah, it is. I'm like, fantastic. I made her a necklace, and now she's going to be super happy about it. And she was. So when she opened up the present, she was ecstatic. Her parents were really, really happy. They're like, oh, she's talked about you at home and stuff before. So it was really pretty awesome to be able to give her something like that. So, as I said, it's kind of like I consider it my superpower, and you got to use it for good.
Now, when you see all the work when the bowl is being passed around, as you're starting to put the character into the bowl you're working on right now, is space a consideration at this point, or?
I'm sorry, is what? Space?
How you're spacing all the.
Yeah, so this is going to be considered like a natural crown. So you're going to have different leaves, possibly flowers, possibly animals incorporated in this. That's why it's a little bit higher than his eyes, because eventually I'll do eyebrows here. Most likely, maybe I'm thinking like leaves, like on a vine for his eyebrows.
So all of the things that you see in the bowl that's being passed around may not end up in a bowl like this.
Yeah, exactly.
There'll be more space between each thing you're burning.
Could be. It all depends on what happens. When I was doing that piece that's being handed around right now, that was a demo piece from the last demo, and I remember I started doing bees on it. And well, Ken was there, and he's like, "You're doing bees," because he knew I want to show people how I did bees. Why would you put bees in the hair? Don't do that. Don't mess up the bowl just because you want to show people. I'm like, hold on. I've got a plan. It's okay. So, and he was, so I always joke around with him with that one. Actually, today I was joking around with him. I'm like, maybe I'll just put some bees on the bowl. You're not there to harass me about it. But anyways, yeah, no, it all depends on how I feel. So this is going to be a man, so that one's being passed around as more of a female character. And her hair is the jumble of all the different things there. So this guy's going to have a crown. He's going to have a lot of facial hair, which will be not actually hair. It'll be different kinds of natural things from the forest. I have a spray booth made up in my backyard. Yeah, it's just basically plywood made into a box, and the back of it is a fan, just like a window fan, secured in there with bungee cords. And so I spray into it, so it filters out the lacquer, so my neighbors don't get lacquer on their cars.
Are you spraying in the winter too?
Not in the winter, because of the cold, it affects the lacquer. So that's when I developed, I found out for my smaller pieces, like the pens and so on, I'm able to brush it on in my basement. So I wear my gear on and do that, and just have the door kind of closed, because I have a lot of animals. So I don't want them getting it. It has been buffed, yep.
What'd you use?
Car wax. Not like it's the carbon. Thank you. Yes. Clearly, you guys know what I'm talking about. What's that?
Your husband gets it for you.
No, actually, I got that supply from Ken. But yeah, see, Ken definitely get that for me. He's actually, it's been pretty fantastic. Like, I have a full workshop right now. Ken, he's a huge enthusiast to have women be part of the wood turning world. So he has been really pushing for me to be a turner along with the burner, and which I really want to do, because my aspirations are to be able to say that I did everything from the very beginning, which I'm starting to be able to do now. A lot of my pieces I've turned myself, and then I burnt them and sealed them and so on. So like that bowl that's going around, Ken turned that one, and then but eventually I'll be able to say that I did everything. Like if a client's wondering, I can tell them where the wood came from, who turned it, and I burned it. So there's no mystery in any of that kind of stuff. But eventually I want to be able to do the whole thing myself. So anyways, back what I was saying is that Ken is a huge fan of that, or a huge pusher of women to be a turner. So what he did was he went out to his barn in Dunville, and he had a whole bunch of broken different equipment that you need for like a basic shop. He gave it to me, and then none of it works, but my husband's a mechanic, so he fixed it for my Christmas present. He went and he fixed up everything. So I have a gigantic, fantastic, and I didn't know about even just 3 years ago that I get excited about this, but a huge dust collector. It's a large particle collector. It sucks like gigantic pieces coming off when I'm turning and everything. So I've got all the pieces that I need to do, even to make my pens and stuff. I have all that in my shop now. Due to the two very special men, so my husband and Ken were able to do this for me for Christmas, which is fantastic.
Now, when you're, for example, the maple leaf that you have there, when you started,
I turn, you can't see it.
And you made the line up the middle, are you going faster doing that than you would when you're shading the other parts of it?
Yeah, well, a line is it's a line. The shading, I want to kind of stay in, you know, the general vicinity of the leaf, so I do go a little bit slower. But in general, I'm a pretty fast burner.
Just turn. There you go. There.
Yeah.
I'll get it.
Yeah. Now, what you see on the screen is different from what's actually in person, because that's picking up a lot of the darker shades. So I'm just going to lift it up for a sec. So that's what's going on the bowl. So it's a different kind of shading that you're seeing on the camera. That's another one of my problems as well. So I go take pictures of my pieces. People love what they see in the pictures, but then they're very surprised when they actually see it in person, because they're like, "Oh, it's even more prettier in person." You can never get a proper picture of your piece to put online. Sorry, just on the way back. Hi.
If you don't already, then you should consider getting a DSLR. And then process it like Photoshop, and be able to adjust all of the shading so that it matches more what you see with the eye rather than what the camera decides.
That's a good idea, because I take my pictures with my camera, and then I have to adjust the different levels of light and of darkening and so on, and it never is exactly how it is. I mean, it's not horrible, but at the same time, it's not exactly what I would like it to be in the picture. So, but what's great is that when someone does look at it and they want to purchase it and they haven't even seen it in person, and then when they go and come and pick it up in person, and they're even more excited about it when they see it, it's always a fantastic feeling that you know you're doing something right. So.
Can't see it.
Nice couple of questions,
sorry.
guys. We're running out of time.
Okay. When you're doing your pens, Jen, how are you incorporating the wood burning into that?
Oh, my wooden pens?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I've done portraits for a client over Christmas. He wanted portraits of his two golden retrievers, and he couldn't get the proper picture of his golden retrievers, so he asked me just to Google pictures of golden retrievers, which is extremely easy to do because there's tons of them. So I literally just go right on to the pen and do it. So I am able to do 2 dogs' heads. And because just my artistic eye, I want, if you look at the pen, I want you to see what it is right away. I was explaining to the client that I didn't want the picture of the dog laying down, because when you turn it, you're going to see a dog head, and then you turn it, you're going to see a dog bum, and like nobody really wants a portrait of a dog bum. So so every angle that you're looking at it, it's a piece, right? The same as I did with the rocking horse. So every angle that you're looking at the pen, it's a piece of art. But are you talking about the finish of the pen and so on?
Well, I'm talking about, I guess, after you work the blank, after you turn the blank.
Yes.
Then you burn, then you do the burning.
Yep. So I have 2 pieces. Once the blank is turned, I have the 2 pieces there. I know how they're going to fit together, so I burn the top first, and then I burn the bottom. And then those are, I brush on the lacquer during the winter time. I have them on little sticks, let them dry, do a couple coats of sand between each coat, and then once it's done, I put the pen together. So, and generally for pens, I stay with the maple. It's actually, again, that maple tree from the 150-year-old maple tree has been very plentiful for a lot of my pieces. It's all from the same tree.
So every pen you're going to do, you're going to incorporate burning.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a burner first before I'm a turner. So a lot of my pieces are it's burning. That's why actually Ken's helped me out so much, as I've been so busy with selling pieces that I don't physically have the time to turn a lot, because there's a lot of long steps. Like you're roughing out a piece, you got to let it sit for about 4 weeks in the dishwasher, and there's a lot of time taken up there. Then you got to pull it out, then you got to turn it, then you got to burn it. So the amount of customs that are coming in, the amount of shows that I'm doing, the amount of things that I'm selling, I just don't physically have the time to turn all my pieces. So he lovingly refers to himself as a minion, and so does my husband. So I've got my 2 minions that help me out while I'm doing this. As I said, I would love to be able to say that every piece I'm able to do from the very beginning. I just don't physically have the time to do that. I mean, it's a good kind of problem to have, but like at the same time, that's my aspiration.
You gotta have a problem, that's the one you want.
Well, that's exactly it, right? Yes.
Have you already, or have you considered turning any pens and burning them with a bead or anything?
Yeah, so yeah, so during Christmas, that's okay. So during Christmas, I did turn a lot of pens, and I burned a lot of them. They were very popular. As I was saying earlier, as a client wanted 4 of them to be able to, and his golden retrievers, he didn't have any kids, so he wanted golden retrievers burnt onto the pens, and he would give them out as presents to people. So yeah, so the pens are a huge favorite of people, and they're a nice one. I sell them for about $40. So when I do shows, I always like to have a wide range of prices, up to the high to the low, and it's always nice to throw some pens in there to it's also, I like to make art that's functional as well. So we got the portraits. Portraits are very specific to people, so you have to be really in love with it to spend the price to put it on the wall and enjoy it. Something that's more functional, like the goblets, the cutting boards, the bowls, the pens, necklaces, even bracelets. Those are all functional, so they all have something that you can do with them. So people are more inclined to purchase something like that than they are a portrait. So I'm able to still do my art, but also be able to have something that someone wants to buy as well. So.
Okay, John.
And when you.
Sorry.
Easy. I know.
Well, I'm glad everyone's interested. That's a good thing.
I gotta call time on this too.
Jen,
We can talk after.
Sorry.
I just want to throw one thing on the screen here.
Sure.
If it's okay, guys.
Yes.
That's a burned skull.
Yes. So that's something that I'm interested in doing, but more, okay, I keep thinking I'm connected because there's a wire. So what my idea though is to have more of a portrait in this area, and specific to the animal that I'm burning to. So the skulls that I have, there's something wrong with each one. It was a deal that I made with the guy because he has over 300 skulls. He really wanted to get rid of some of them, but I'm just trying things out. So I didn't want to take his skulls that are perfect, just in case it failed. So he gave me some that are missing a jaw. Some of them are a little bit cracked. But yeah, they're pretty interesting. So either way, once I'm done with them, it'll be an art piece. So it doesn't really matter if it's missing something on it. So it's not like you're gonna put the animal back together and resurrect it or anything. So, so yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Jen.
So, thank you.